if I were in your shoes, I'd want to watch this show on lesser media. They show charts from time to time. They're always perma bullish, and they're sort of weak sauce. So I hope that I'm able to add value to your own trading decisions, and I try my best. So hopefully it's been constructive. Now that we both know how lucky we are, let's look at some charts together. Not surprising, we're having a green day, somewhat, barely. I have tried to take advantage of that. Let's look at what's going on. We haven't tagged the gap here, but we've gotten close. At today's lows, we got kind of close. I'm not satisfied. I want to see that gap completed. At the same time, I think, have a pretty good short-term resistance level anchored to yesterday's high, which also just happens to be exactly where that midline is. I love this chart. Let's make it a candlestick to make it a little easier to read. We've got a big doji right now, or spinning top, I guess would be more appropriate, on the candle there, which implies indecision. Yeah, it does. Tomorrow's PCE report is coming out. I guess that'll inform the market to some degree. And of course, next Wednesday, Powell does his kabuki dance. I'm hoping he drops rates just to kind of get it out of his system. Further, I hope he drops them and the market briefly rallies under the completely misguided notion that lower rates equal higher stock prices. No, they don't. Based on all empirical data since the start of time, no. If you're a bull, the worst thing you want to see is the Fed start to chop interest rates down. That's bad news. It is. So, but I hope he starts. That'll kick off probably a multi-year festivus. Anyway, we are right in the middle there, banging between the support and resistance zones. Cubes, of course, have had a dreadful time. Trillions of dollars lost across equities in the past couple of weeks or so. I'm not as thrilled with this support level as I am with the other. It's okay. We'll use it for now in terms of looking for a support. But we've also got, spinning top uncertainty going on here. Wide range of uncertainty, tremendous range. I look at hundreds of charts every day, and I really try to hone in on the stuff. Because to me, NVIDIA was like a gift. NVIDIA was just like, please short me. In retrospect, you can say safely, well, it was so obvious, but it was kind of obvious. But I'll go out on a limb. I think today's high in NVIDIA was obvious. So I bought a bunch of short-term puts on it. It's almost scary when it looks that obvious. It's like, is somebody trying to trick me here? This seems way too simple. But, I even tweeted out something like, I don't know what I tweeted, but something like, this is it for NVIDIA. That this is the top for the day. Because I think it's exhausted. We'll see tomorrow. If NVIDIA goes rocketing higher, then shame on me. But that's what I think. Emerging markets. A couple of weeks ago, I was very distraught in general. Not even a couple of weeks ago, just last Tuesday. And, all the markets seem to be aligned against the bears. Everything was exploding higher, even the kind of the third world zone here. But that's failed. That's been a failed bullish breakout. One of the few ETFs that seems still steadfastly bullish is financials, XLF. No surprise there. That industry is private profits, public losses. It's the only one. The government guarantees if you're a bank, you're going to be gold. If you make money, it's yours to keep. If you lose money, the citizens of the United States will bail you out. It's disgusting. So I guess that's why XLF is still strong. Absolutely dreadful. Earnings continue to tumble out. Ford is getting zapped down really hard. In fact, I looked last night. The price that Ford is now, including all the dividends, is the same as it was in 1998. Some of you didn't even exist back then. Good God Almighty, people, leave me alone. Excuse me a second. But yeah, Ford's getting zapped hard. Edwards Life Sciences is down really hard. And you kind of got a big tell on this because a long time ago, if you look at this trend line, we violated this trend line briefly. And, it's not a great short signal or anything, but it's definitely like something's wrong here. Something's a little bit off. And ultimately, it's taken a hard fall. And I'm not in any of these. I'm just kind of thumbing through some recent earnings. Chipotle, I think after hours yesterday when they reported they shot higher, that didn't last for whatever reason. It's actually down right now. Down it goes. So yeah, who's the big Bill Ackman? That's his core holding. That's his. That's the basis, the big basis of Pershing. What else? Oh, in ServiceNow, I'm glad to be nowhere in the zip code of this thing. Huge rally, lifetime highs. Congrats to anybody who was long this. Like I say, I've been burned enough by service now to stay way over on that side of the room. It's like kryptonite for the bears. So yeah, congrats. I have nothing to do with it. What else? Oh, CrowdStrike. Dumb guess time. I think dumb guess. I think it's going to rally in short order here to some degree. It's going to get a bit of a relief rally. I'm sure most of you have heard about the, after the complete demolition of the internet for like days on end, they literally offered to those affected a $10 Uber Eats card, which by the way didn't work for those who got it. It's like invalid. So yeah, the old PR department not doing a crackerjack job over at CrowdStrike, but it is still getting sold off. Even Eli Lilly, just to show you how fierce the selling is, even Eli Lilly, who could really do no wrong, has reversed. We've gone from almost 1,000 down to about 800. We've lost about 20%. Can you believe it? Just a few days, about 20% loss. Is that hundreds of billions probably right there? Really, really quite remarkable. It's just a blip in a long-term chart, but in recent days, it's been pretty brutal. Blackstone's still very much holding its own. Even with all the selling, this is very firm. You look at this cup with handle pattern, there's the support. Even in the worst of the selling today, it's held up very, very well. Calmain, my silly long position here, it is just rocking the free world. Go long eggs, I guess. It's just been doing very, very well. It's up again to a lifetime high today of 6% gain. It's just a beautiful chart. Let's look at semis for a little bit. SMH, zoom in on this. This was the tippity top. This is a huge bearish engulfing pattern that took place with semiconductors back on the 21st. And we gapped down hard here. And it's been a pretty steady fall. And the latest gap was up here. My goal was this gap, and we achieved it, and then some. We actually closed below it yesterday and fell even more today. Got all the way down here. You can see kind of how stretched this is. No surprise at all that we're seeing some buying. Today's buying was the short-term peak of that. I really hope so, because I got a rather aggressive Nvidia position. I don't want to get greedy because it's gone so well so far. On semiconductor, ON, there's that. You know that chart well, very pretty. I think that they report next week in a few trading days from now. But that's a good setup. I'm in that one. Not an ARM. I've never traded ARM myself, but we did have a failure under this support level here. So you can see just from semi to semi, we're definitely getting some weakness. Micron, I continue to hold this as well. In each of these cases, I've taken a little bit of profits here and there, 20% off, that kind of thing. But I really will not just bail completely until and unless we get all the way down to this price gap. Because as I pointed out, and Nvidia will be our last chart today, my crazy goal is to get Nvidia down to 96 out of all the semiconductors at that point. Even poor old Intel probably has been kind of beaten up enough. It's sold off quite hard from here, but it's definitely reached a place of some meaningful support, all that trading activity. And just to put this in perspective, AMD from here, which I think was March 8 to today, intraday, about a 36% drop. This is not some weird biotech startup. This is AMD. This is one of the giants, 36%. So yeah, quite the reversal going on. Tesla is continuing to be one of the most chart-friendly critters in the universe. Look at this. This is just dynamite. What was our goal? What was our goal? Our goal was this gap, which was 213.23. What was today's low? 212.48. Not bad. It got just a few pennies below that red line. Look at that. Is that magnificent? Absolutely beautiful. So we've got an inside day right here reversing away. If we get some rally on this spine, it's going to have, I think, a lot of trouble getting past the low from, I guess that would be Tuesday. And it may not even get up there, who knows, but we're back in this trio of fibs. But yeah, the low on that was just beautiful. My one sort of sad spot today is precious metals. As you know, I'm kind of like into like long precious metals, short equities. Precious metals yesterday, God bless them, they tried to rally. They couldn't keep it up, and they sold off overnight. And I got out of GLD this morning, wait for a better price maybe. But weirdly, I actually got more SLV, which was hit even harder. Now, I know the old saying, losers average losers. Well, maybe I'm a loser. I don't know. But I did average down on this. I got some more of it. If I had any sense at all, I would have waited to this point because this is actually, I think, a good price. I got impatient and bought some up here, but we've gotten battered down. Should we fail this zone, well, shame on me again. I'm going to wait a little more patiently for this blue level here, which if we break that, forget it. I'll just never mention silver again. But at this point, I have gotten more, I've gotten longer on silver, and I'm a gold altogether. Just moments left here. Let's wrap up with the most important stock in the universe, Nvidia. And what I would like to offer you is the idea that today's high should provide some kind of barrier. In a perfect world, what we would ideally want, if I can just talk to any market gods that might be watching the program, a ultimate tag right down here of the trend line and to seal that gap, which is way down at $96 and one shiny penny. It sounds bonkers, I know, but that's on the wish list.